Hey, you favored ones, welcome back to another collective reading. I'm Kymmy, and this is my channel, Favorite Readings. For anyone who's just coming in for the first time ever, welcome. For those returning, welcome back. Today I had a few downloads come through beforehand that I wanted to go over. Since they won't let me manage to set up a note here, I'm going to go with the one that I don't have in front of me. Which is birth month flowers. Seems like the computer wants to pick a fight with me today, just like the sun. Some of you may be fighting, feel like the sun is picking a fight with you right now with just the weather patterns that have been around, especially for those who are dealing with the fires and stuff. For those who are helping fight the fires, thank you. We appreciate the people on the ground who are, actually out there helping us, so thank you. So yeah, the month of flowers, and people might be looking up their birth month flowers or what their birth gemstones are, as well as like your original last name origins and what it means, what your name meaning is, and just looking up all the different things to get to know yourself a little bit more. And like the lore and history behind things that you may have learned about yourself growing up. Because it says in some of the spiritual communities that the things that you are drawn in this lifetime are usually things that were like little bits and pieces of stuff from your past life. Which brings me to the topic of today's, one of the topic of today's reading that I wanted to go over. Now remember that these are general readings, all messages may not apply. If you don't feel they do at this time, you're welcome to check out all my other videos, or listen if you just enjoy the way I present my intuitive messages. So yeah, I appreciate you. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. So I would appreciate that energy exchange, as well as don't message anyone back who tries to solicit a reading for you. They're usually scammers, and well, they're 100% scammers. They don't deserve your hard-earned money. Okay. Today's topic is, I feel like the collective is finally learning loyalty to themselves. Now, you may have prided yourself on being very loyal in your past. In your past life, you may have been only loyal to yourself, or in your younger years, you may have been only loyal to yourself. And you're learning how to have loyalty for others in this lifetime. Now, once you learn to have loyalty for others, some of you may have delved into that a little bit too far and lost your own self to possibly people pleasing, or just misplaced loyalty in people that, maybe you didn't notice the signs at first, or you were never taught to recognize those signs. And now that you've learned them through experiences and lessons, yeah, you're available. It had the thing back. Some of you may be becoming available because you and were told that you weren't loyal in a relationship, and now you're proving it through your actions and being like, I was loyal to you, but you didn't treat me right, so I gotta be loyal to myself and my future. So you're taking steps towards that. I feel a lot of the collective right now is learning how to go with the flow and have acceptance in the divine timing and the universe unfolding naturally. Now, doesn't mean that you're 100% every single day in trust, because we are very much human, and even one of, every now and then we get a little bit of doubt, and that's okay. That's a normal human reaction. But I feel like you're learning how to come out of that cycle quicker and being more affirming in yourself. So inside of the movie Emperor's New Groove, where Pacha's sitting at the table and Yzma and Cusco are both going around in that swing around door, giving Kronk the order that he thinks is only one order, right? And you may think that it's only one order to the universe, but you're like, hey, I want that house. And then, like, if a couple of weeks down the line, you're like, I want the house, but I want this on top of it. And they're like, okay, well, we are manifesting this, so now we gotta make arrangements, which will take a little bit longer. But you remember at the one part when they both swung in the door and they both agreed at the same time? So I feel like you're really agreeing with your high self and the universe in co-creating, and you're finally getting on track of what you both deserve and worth, and it's coming in for you. If not yet, then I see that's what's coming in for the collective here. Is that you're really getting on the same page, that you're really co-creating and learning that, hey, I take action and the universe is really going to show up for me. So I have picked out the blue tiger's eye, which is a symbol of strength, courage, deepening willpower, and it's supposed to overcome challenges. And the blue healing crystal is known for communication, flow, mental clarity, and inner peace. So I feel a lot of you are finding in a lot of inner peace. But yeah, in past life, maybe for example, you were a gun for hire, and now in this lifetime you're standing up for people's rights and being loyal to the underdog. And maybe you're being loyal to the underdog that is you. Maybe while you were growing up, you were the underdog and you were loyal to the people who maybe stepped all over you and walked all over you and used you as a doormat or a punching bag, proverbial or otherwise. And you're like, you want to know what? This isn't actual loyalty. This is detrimental to my own health. And how is it loyal if it's not mutual? At that point, that's using you. That's not loyalty. That's you being used and tooled around. And if they want to treat you like a tool, then use it to create. Right? All tools are meant for being used for creation and fixing. Some tools are for destroying, but if they're acting like a tool of destruction, then you better wield yourself in the direction of creating. So that's what I have for my intuitive messages. I hope that they came out. They were kind of displaced in order of what I originally thinking, but I'm glad that I at least got it all out. And I feel like that's what's happening with you as well, is that you're feeling all conjumbled of getting your creativity and art out there, but I feel like you're going less constructive and perfectionism and structured towards it. Some of you may be backing off of doing commissions and only selling the art that you feel like creating. Some of you could be putting your art out there, but you're not sure if you really want to change genres. You will always be you. Switching it up is usually how you end up on top. And I know that sounds dirty, but stay with me. When I was in wrestling, and if you watch wrestling and stuff, or even the movies, cliche, but they do have a good point. Like in the movie Never Back Down. He thought he was being loyal to the person at the gym by not fighting, and because he was being loyal to the gym, his family and his friends were being hurt and destroyed. And because he was being loyal to that man's wound, if you haven't seen the movie, you'll understand if you watch it, but he was being loyal to another man's wound because of his wound. And when he realized that stepping up this time and standing up for himself was the best action, instead of just backing down from it, because a lot of you may have been told that you're the troublemakers because you get egged on and then you react, but now you're learning that there's a time to react and there's a time to you know, there's a time to act, and there's never time to react, but there is a time to act. Reaction means that you haven't taken the time to thought this through. Is this the best action? Is this the pros and cons of a Venn diagram that I'm willing to live with each night with my thoughts? And going from there, backing down. But yeah, it's cliche with wrestling. They always say switch it up. Whenever you think you're pinned down, by society or the universe or like any obstacle, just switch that perspective and point of view. If you switch it up, you can usually end up out of the pin, but sometimes you gotta admit that, you know, I got pinned on that one. You got me. It doesn't mean don't stop trying and don't think of a rematch. Like if something like totally pinned you down and you like that talent or skill totally whooped my booty. Like imagine you went skating for the first time ever and you just had one of those pillows because you kept falling down constantly, but after a while you figured out the inertia and the momentum that you needed in order to take off and slow down. And it was beautiful symmetry. And I feel like that's what's going on for you right now, is that you're finding your beautiful symmetry between being loyal to yourself and being loyal to others, which is just as important. You know, there's nobility in being loyal to yourself, because how else are you supposed to be royal if you're not even loyal to your own kingdom and your own foundation of solidarity? So if you're standing within your solidarity, that's amazing. And now some people are going through solidarity and that's what they need to work through. Now remember that just because you're in a team doesn't make you any less of an individual. So for those who are in a group or just beginning a new crew or a new hip-hop scene or coven, what have you, if you're starting one of those, and I say that as like standing your solidarity, you're like, but I like this group. It's like, just because you're a part of a team doesn't make you any less of an individual. That was one of my favorite answers I've ever given at an interview. Actually, second. My first one was when they asked me how grass grow. How does grass grow? It was my favorite question. I was like, I got you. Make sure it's not on a hill so that the water doesn't cause erosion and move all the things away. I went detailed. They were like, wow. And when I asked why, so people may ask you unorthodox questions just to see how you'll answer. But yeah, I went really in, and afterwards I was like, that was the strangest question. Why did you ask? And they were like, it depends on what answer you give, whether or not you're a leader, or if you're and willing to put in that extra effort to understand how things work, or are you just minimum of like water and sun, you know, some dirt, water, and sun. Good. Not about placement. So that's what the universe is saying for you. They're finding you the perfect placement right now. They're finding you a place that's not too on an incline so that you don't have erosion and wash away all your seeds that you're planting. It's making sure you got enough sunlight. There's no other trees giving you shade and getting in your way. Making sure that you have, you know, there's enough for you to go around and the animals around you. So some of you may be worried about whether or not your animals will be provided for or taken care of. The universe is saying that it's working in your favor for them. Okay. Today I'm going to use the Colette Baron-Reid Dreamweaver's Oracle. I will be giving my intuitive messages and then reading from the book as I am still fully learning. Woo! Yeah. One more, please. spirit guides, guardian answers are at highest good. You get ones that will resonate for the most collective that is watching this. For any of the haters, they can have their energy back. For those who are just watching to prove that I don't know what I'm talking about, you a bunch of Sam Squamches. No, I'm just kidding. Some of you may enjoy Trailer Park Boys and horror movies, because this is really giving me remembered its name this morning. But yeah, a lot of horror movies with a lot of like eyeballs involved and stuff like that. I'm also getting the Magic School Buses. So some of you may enjoy the Magic School Bus. Miss Frizzle will be fun. Some of you, oh yeah, your outfits. A lot of people may think that your outfits really, your sense of style really stands out, and your projects really stand out. Yeah, people think seeing you sometimes is really rare, and they love spending time with you and watching the steps that you're making towards your goals. Because it's like if you hear a Sasquatch a Sasquatch sigh. So yeah, some people feel like it may be a once in a blue moon that they get to see you. I know that the blue moon was a couple days ago, which is usually a rare occasion. It's when 2 moons happen in 1 month. So some people may feel like they don't get to see you very often, except for on your social media, where they can like give you because it looks like they're looking down at their phone. So a lot of you may only have your a presence on social media, except for like rare occasions where you go out. A lot of you may be going through the mountains right now or traveling to the mountains. Some of your cats may be fighting with things outside, because I hear some cats outside fighting. My babies are safe. Some of you need to know that your babies are safe to maybe go outside. Some of you may have outside animals. I don't know exactly what that message is for, but hopefully it resonated for someone who is meant to hear that. Yeah, the salmon run. I'm hearing that a lot of you may be switching to salmon, getting more omegas into your life. I know there's definitely a plant-based version, is like Udo, UDO, that you might be investing in. So yeah, I see a lot of like Hamza. Some of you could have Hamza protection in your home as well. Like, I'm also getting a feel of like horror movies and like supernatural movies. Some of you could have went near the mountains or lived near the ocean. But yeah, I'm feeling that someone went for traveling through or live in the mountains area. Just with the fact that that's where the salmons go. But I feel like since they're going downwards, in the cycle of the salmon is when they're going back to the big sea. So I feel like for most of the collective, you've been playing it pretty small. Like you wanted to be a small fish in a small pond, and then after a time you've become, because they start off with babies, right? You just started off with baby steps inside of the small pond, keeping it small, and then you became a bigger deal. People started recognizing you more, and now you're a big fish in a small pond, which I'm getting a feeling of like you're really big locally, and now you're working towards traveling and dipping your feet into the big sea. Some of you could be doing tours. Some of you could have went outside of the city to perform or just travel, I'm getting as well. But yeah, definitely becoming a big fish, because I feel like there's always a bigger fish. from Star Wars. Some of you may enjoy Star Wars, or just sex and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, but yeah, he's a voice actor in a lot of other movies as well. But yeah, some of you could be pilots or starting a pilot episode. Some of you could be getting included into a TV show, or releasing an episode, like I think they're called, or an EP, which is episode for TV shows, but I'm not exactly sure what it's called for music. I know there's album and EPs, but I'm not exactly 100% what it stands for. Electronic piece. I don't know. But either way, the episode, yeah, so you might be dropping a new EP or album, or being a part of a pilot episode, or actually taking flying lessons, or taking a airplane flight here soon. You're going back into the deeper seas of you're becoming a bigger fish and moving into the deep sea, and you're becoming a bigger fish daily and getting your stuff out there. Yeah, you're leaving your mark everywhere. Some of you could be lowering your carbon footprint by eating healthier and less like packaged produce and stuff like that, by bringing your own bags back. I know there's actually a bag law where I live, so you're hooped if you don't bring it now. A moment of silence for all those with ADHD. Okay, for those who forgot, we were talking about bringing your bags to the grocery store. Don't forget them. Some of you could have recently did a cleansing. I love that I have the fish hat on. Yay! But yeah, some of you could be rainbow trout. Some of you may be going fishing, and that may have not been something that you were into before. 2 on the clock. So because of the person that you're around, you're really starting to integrate more of their love of things as well. And for some of you, your loved one likes fishing and nature, and you may have not been 100% into it, or haven't gone in a long time, and now they're reintroducing you back into having fun and enjoying those things that you did when you were younger. You're also balancing not only your stability and your fun time and your friends and your home life, you're balancing your give and take and knowing when to share your stuff from yourself, whether it's your creativity or your energy. Oh, and when it's time to withdraw and take time to relax and pamper yourself. I know yesterday I was talking about in my reading about dyeing your hair, getting your lashes done, going and getting a massage, going fishing, like I said. Some of you are going fishing, having, some of you could have had a bachelor party or a family outing or wedding coming up. I feel like a lot of you had a loss of someone dear to you, and you're really missing them, and noticing that those moments together was the Midas touch. You're noticing that those golden times were the times together, and you're really honoring their memories right now, so that they aren't a rare commodity, because they are constantly being brought up, and that their memories will not be lost to the footprints of time. So I think that's for all do I have anything else? Some of you may like Magneto and Mystique and the Mutants, X-Men and stuff like that. Comic books could be very important to you as well, with the 2-colored eye inside of this hand. It just reminds me of Mystique. Yeah, some of you could be into the multiverse And reading comic books has really introduced you to liking mythology and the possibilities of deities and gods and stuff like that, just because of like Thor and I'm pretty sure Aurora was considered one. I think so anyway. Yeah, I think she was considered a god in her. Maybe not, maybe just a queen. I don't know. Anyone know below if Storm was actually a god? I'm gonna have to look that up afterwards. Some of you may be seeing a lot of eyes or different aliens in the sky and believing more within myths and lores. Some of you could have lost a loved one that had introduced you to a love of lore and supernatural things such as the Sasquatch. Some of you have healing, the healing hands. You heal through your hands and through your prayer for others. Now, some of you hear prayer and think like Catholicism. Prayer is just a well wishes upon other people. So you're just wishing people well. Some people could be sick around you, and you're helping them regain their full health. Some of you yourself could be dealing with the sickness. Remember to drink lots of fluids and listen to your body as needed. And may you recover soon. Speedy recovery for everyone, whether that's physical, mental, or emotional. Yeah, I feel like a lot more people are giving you recognition behind the scenes than you're actually aware of, because I see there's a lot of eyes on you here that are like fully aware of like you may have lost someone and people are like keeping an eye, but I also see a whole bunch of eyes. So I feel like not only are there's people through the veil, like your ancestors and your guides and guardians that are keeping a watchful eye on you, but I also feel like there's a lot of people who are admiring you that aren't admitting it or coming forward in regards to the people you've cut off and the decisions you've made for bettering yourself. I just feel like your ancestors, and there's a lot more recognition, like not recognition, but awareness. People are very much aware and inspired by you. I just don't think that you've had that recognition yet, so you may be wondering. But I think at this time, the universe is keeping them from coming forward so that you can learn how to step into that self-loyalty and give yourself that lasting validation, because it's very fleeting when it's from others, where it is a life force when we say it for ourselves. It means more when you say it yourself, when you hear it from you. I learned that from Canty Eshe from Blue Aura Healing Guidance and Tarot. That was number one that I first started watching with, and has helped me through a lot. So, but it was true. I used to hear messages a lot while listening to readings, and then one day I was saying it in another way on my own reading, and I was like, well, so like remember to affirm yourself, because it's like an instant mushroom from Mario Kart where it's just like bloop 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 bloop. Like your energy grows like 3 sizes, and if you actually mean it, whoa, definitely a feather. You're gonna grow a whole tail full of that can make you fly. And like it will grow a tail for you, like respin a tail for you to fly off into the sunset. There you go, some Mario in there as well. Some of you can enjoy like Sonic the Hedgehog and old school like arcade video games, ping pong, like, volleyball, beach volleyball is coming through. Some of you may enjoy beach volleyball or be a part of a group for playing. Number 4. If the river flows this way. The essential meaning. The importance of going with the flow, feeling the sense of being one with the currents of life, trusting you will never drown as destiny wants you to go this way. Okay. Just want to make sure that you can say it. Okay. The flow state is a way of surrendering and trusting the benevolent forces of life. It is surprising that we don't spend more time here, as it's an amazing creative place to be. Magical and peaceful, yet brimming with potential. Flow is a state that is readily accessible through any activity that captures your effortless focus, such as meditating, dancing, painting, or even taking a shower. Like if you remember from the movie Soul, that one, the one dude from the pizza shop was spinning the sign and he created flow. I feel like that's happening for you. Some of you may have moved on from what you considered was going to be the thing that made you happy, and now you're moving on to something else. Even though people may not understand, he like went from psychology and physics and stuff. Like he was in an intense school course, and he's like, nah, I quit that just so that I can spin this sign and be me. So I feel like you're being loyal to being you. Yeah. Right now you're being invited and guided to go with the flow, to allow the currents of life to move you forward. You don't need to struggle or to plan or strategize, to resist, to pull. This is not about effort. This is magical river, knows where to go and where to fit you into its plans. Allow and surrender is what's called for now. Now, if the water comes choppy or feels like it's carrying you away, you will not drown. This is one of the most creative and life-enhancing times for you. And all you must do is allow. When you inspire ideas to surface, follow along. Whatever is calling for your attention, immerse yourself in it and see where it takes you. If the river flows this way, go with the current, and only for the highest good. Just keep doing what you're doing and weave your dreams and desires in a graceful rhythm, and all will be well. That reminds me of, that definitely brought up, because during a memorial funeral I had not too long ago, one of the things that they kept singing from the book, everyone's may practice. I know there's a lot of trauma, my own including, but it was all will be well, all will be well. And yeah. So this was for a very, very good friend of mine who would play MTG and wanted to talk about origins of birth, names and dates of like what's your birth flower and what's your birthstone. He was very much into that, so I feel like a lot of this pile you may be into that too and share that same golden energy that he had. Some of you may be learning how to read tarot cards or looking into getting a mentor for reading tarot cards, because he had asked me to teach him before he died. But now he knows more than me in the cosmos. So yeah, some of you may have taught people in the past, and you're watching them flourish and grow into, you know, the saying of like the grasshopper has surpassed the master. Some of you are surpassing your mentors as well. I feel like some of you may work in a cannabis shop, because I'm getting those gummies ain't ish. I don't know why, but yeah, some of you may have been moving on to gummies or CBD instead of smoking. I don't know. Or have been working towards a routine and may not be smoking until the afternoon. Either for tolerance break or just because you prefer to be within your own energy during the mornings. That may not be for everyone, so it could be something else that you're cutting down on. You could be fasting and not, or you could be not turning on your social media until the afternoon. Something like that. I feel like a lot of you are waiting until the afternoon to invest in your fun, and you're investing in your creativity first things in the morning. And for the others, I feel like you're really still investing in your night owlness, and getting your sleep during the morning. Some of you may be on night shift, so for those who do the night shift, then it's just the same thing, but you're not doing it until after you've woken up and stuff like that. When you got in home, once you got in home in the morning, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go buy groceries and everything else, maybe do spin a set or something like that on the scratch boards, and then I'm gonna drink and binge to watch shows. You know, like you're learning balance. Spiritual essential meaning. Spiritual narcolepsy, seen through a lens of separation, competition, arrogance, ego, and narrow-mindedness. Yeah. Some people may be preying on your downfall. It could be family members. If you hear a Sam Squatch, some of you might be really excited for the new Trailer Park Boys movie that's coming out, or from Newfoundland. It just always reminds me of people in Newfoundland when I was in junior high, because there was this one kid who would go up for the hangman, and he would always put names or things from Trailer Park Boys. Some of you could be having the hangman energy, where you are getting a different perspective, like I was saying with wrestling, and you are switching it up. You're like, I'm never gonna be pinned. I'm never gonna let these people who are preying on my downfall be right. 38, so you're infinite. 33, you could be a master number 33 or life path 6, or really good at communication skills, especially with the blue tiger's eye. Okay. You heard a Sasquatch sigh. Know that they are sad because you have fallen into the trap of spiritual narcolepsy. You have forgotten your partnership with the universe and instead are working through your ego. You think you see things clearly, but your mind is clouded, young battle. Okay. You've forgotten your partnership with the universe and instead are working through your ego. You got it. You think you can see it. Yep, but you're temporarily blinded to the magic of the world. Perhaps you are comparing yourself with others, or perhaps you are seeing through a lens of lack and limitations, and therefore thinking you aren't enough, or that there isn't enough for you to go around. In this moment, you are being called to wake up and remember that inherent divinity in all things and all people. Perhaps you cannot see the magic and mystery because you have lost faith and don't believe, or you have become hypnotized by temporary outer conditions that present as frigid or fixed. You may feel an overwhelming weight and responsibility. Some of you may deal with ships or shipments that have gone awry, because I hear sirens, but then it brought me the name of like the actual sirens, like singing. Some of you have really beautiful singing voice that really lures people in. Your performances really lures people in. Some of you are dealing with altercations though, and please be careful and get yourself to a safe place as soon as possible. Okay, overwhelming weight and responsibility on your shoulders to make things happen. Yes, life can be truly hard and unfair and unreliable, exhausting and irrational and chaotic, but none of these things are permanent or personal. Remember, all things must change, and you are now and always have been a conduit for miracles. Miracles happen daily for all of my collective. We do. In universe, why is my collective always winning daily? Why is my collective a conduit for miracles in universe? Why are all these watching right now be favored? Wake up and reorient. I don't care what that says. That does not make sense. Wake up. Get yourself together, declutter your thoughts and your environment, and be grateful these episodes are fleeting. You do not need to define your sense of self by outer conditions. Circumstances is about where you are, not who you are. It's one of my favorite quotes. This is a time to dive into more self-love and compassion. Cultivate a sense of humor, for you are more than enough. You matter, and your life loves you so much. Look to the signs around you. The world is your oracle. Spirit has a plan. So yeah, that's the message that I have for you. I know there's a long weekend coming up, so everyone be safe with their travels and loving on each other, and make sure that you drink your water and all that other fun stuff. And I will see you on the next Tuesday. Remember, this reading is timeless, so if you are seeing this, then it is meant for you. Yeah, remember to eat, hydrate, and of course, the best part, having fun.